ATR, All-Terrain Racing, released in 1995 by Team 17, is a top-down racer for the Commodore Amiga and was also released on the CD32. Here we take a look at the standard Amiga version. Like many Team 17 games, All-Terrain Racing presentation in terms of graphics and sound is excellent. Let's take a look at the arcade mode first of all. You get a choice of 3 stages: Sports, Canyon and Forest. Each stage has a series of tracks for you to race against your opponents, as well as a bunch of tracks based in space if you can clear the first few stages. The sports tracks are racetrack orientated with lots of obstacles and oil spills to avoid, and are a good entry point into the game. Canyon tracks are exactly as they sound, racing around tracks within a canyon with a lot of water hazards to slow you down. This is where the difficulty takes a step up. Then the forest tracks. These are really where you have to master the game and remember the track layout, since there are many obstacles and ice patches that will send you spinning off into the trees. You get a choice of 3 vehicles to choose from: a 4x4 Jeep, buggy and formula car. Each has their own qualities, but generally go from slow in the 4x4, medium pace in the buggy and then the fastest in the formula car. Before each race you can upgrade your vehicle in the shop, purchasing upgrades for your engine for speed, gearbox for acceleration, tyre for grip and so on. Cash for your upgrades are earned by finishing races as high up as possible, as well as picking up the cash bonuses as you race around each track. There are also plenty of other power-ups to collect as you drive, including turbo boosts, armour upgrades and car damage repair. All-terrain racing can be frustrating, mainly because of the limited amount of track you can see, so memorising tracks is crucial if you're going to master the game. Although I would not necessarily note this as a criticism as such, because this is very much a mark of top-down races at the time. The handling is very arcadey and has a good sliding mechanic where if you keep your accelerator down around the corners, eventually you start to drift around the corner, which feels really satisfying. There are lots of obstacles and annoying traffic cones, but then again, this is all part of the level design. No point in making things easy, eh? Going back to this kind of game now can be a little bit off-putting with the initial difficulty curve, but persevere and you are rewarded with a really fun arcade racer experience. Next, let's take a look at the battle mode. Anyone who is familiar with Micro Machines multiplayer will feel quite at home here. The main difference is that when your opponent falls back off the screen, the game doesn't pause, but instead drags your opponent back to you again and rewards you with points. You also get points for crossing the start-finish line ahead of your opponent. You get all the same tracks and obstacles, but with the addition of missiles if you wish to activate them in the game. In League mode it is essentially battle mode, but instead you have more than 2 players taking part, each taking turns to race one-on-one, but with a league table to determine the winner. Both battle and league modes are great little additions to the game, giving things more value in terms of multiplayer. A very late game in the Amiga's life, All-Terrain Racing was generally really well received, with many of the Amiga magazines at the time reviewing the game favourably in the mid 80% area. However, Amiga Power did publish a scathing review of the game. Although it is linked to an ongoing tit-for-tat dispute between the magazine and Team 17, they rated All-Terrain Racing at a stinking 38%. Amiga Computing gave the game a great 89%, saying they were sceptical, but ATR was done so professionally that it won them round. Amiga Action gave 88%, saying the game is right up there with Roadkill, but just missed out on 90% due to it being a bit tricky to follow sometimes. CU Amiga gave 85%, saying Overdrive with Go Faster Stripes. And as mentioned previously, Amiga Power rated the game 38%. They said the positives were that the cars move well and go vroom, but they obviously had some venting to do. The downers were as follows: appallingly unworkable tracks that play boringly and feel empty, very few shortcuts, not nearly enough of the track ahead is visible, hasty feel to the whole thing. In 2-player mode it's extremely difficult to tell who's who. In League mode all players have to use player 1's joystick. Strangely, they've made the second least poor tracks, the space ones, a hidden feature, and you get infuriating slowing cones all over the track even when you turn them off. They summarise. ATR manages astonishingly to be less exciting than Overdrive and is an embarrassment alongside Micro Machines and Roadkill. A stunningly poor game. So that scathing review no doubt brought the average score down significantly. But what did I think of the game? Looking at the game I played today and remembering what I liked about it all those years ago, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's aged reasonably well in terms of its looks and sound, and for the most, the gameplay too. It's mainly the limited view of the track which can be a sticking point, but it's definitely a game I'd recommend giving a go. If you've made it this far, thank you as ever for watching the video. Do let us know what you thought of all-terrain racing in the comments, and whether you agree with Amiga Power's strong views. Like, subscribe and share the video if you so wish, any of which are always appreciated. Thanks again and see you soon.